Hey everyone, welcome to the session today. This is AutoUFOs for MetaTrader. My name is Jose Blasco. I am delighted to run the session today to present to you a very powerful tool that we have been building for a while. Finally, we are releasing it, and we are tremendously excited. And beyond excited, we understand the potential and the power the tool has when it comes to helping you. Especially in markets such as Forex, CFDs, cryptocurrencies. Many brokers utilize MetaTrader. Is such a popular platform. It has certain disadvantages or weaknesses, if you wish, but one of the reasons why we're so excited is not only because of now the UFOs are in MetaTrader. On top of that, we came up with improvements to MetaTrader itself. And again, this is really powerful stuff that we are one more time very excited about. Okay, so we're gonna start with this discovery. Apart from showing you the tool itself, of course we'll be looking at the financial markets. We're traders, isn't it? So we're gonna be looking at specific applications. We'll plan a few trades, and we'll talk about all of that. So again, hopefully, not only this is gonna be fun, but on top of that, you will get to learn a few things during the presentation. Okay, my name, an email, you can see that on the bottom right, jose@traddictiv.com. That's my email address. Do not hesitate to email me or our support team at support@traddictiv.com if you have any question, either during or after the presentation, or any other day if you're watching this using the recordings. Before we start, as always, we have a disclaimer that I am highlighting as we speak on the upper part of the screen, so please read it carefully. This is important information. Legal stuff is always, of course, important, and therefore I am counting on you to read it completely, not to skip any word or sentence or paragraph, because, as I said, it is important information. With all of this said, it is now time to look at our agenda for today and begin. So first, we're gonna go over introductions. Of course, many of you today, know me, and I know you, and we've been working together in live trading sessions, in certain cases many times. But also some of you may be attending this session for the first time, and you don't know me, or you don't know traddictiv, Trade with UFOs. So I'll go over a quick introduction. Then we'll dive into the meat of the matter, which is what is MetaTrader and what is AutoUFOs, and why it's something important for you to understand. Also talking about why are we so excited about this new trading solution. Then we'll talk about how to subscribe, and also very important, how to use it. This is when we're gonna have some practice time diving into the live markets and looking at everything, apart from the slides that hopefully will illustrate well the concepts that I need to share with you, but then most importantly we'll get into the practical application of it with real-time market data. By the way, there is a bonus for you in this presentation. So towards the end of the presentation, we have a little something for you that I'm sure you will appreciate. I am a fan of QR codes, so get your phones ready, because I'll share a few links during the presentation, and sometimes typing the links it's a bit tedious. So be ready to scan a couple of QR codes that I plan to share with you, especially when we get to item number 5, so you can collect your bonus. Okay, we'll talk about that later. And finally, as well, of course, while I'm pretty sure that during the presentation you'll be asking questions, certainly we'll make some specific time for questions and answers at the end of the presentation, because it's many of us today in the session. So if I know the answers are coming later, so I may not respond to you immediately, and I keep it until the end, because probably the answer is coming naturally during the session. And if any, I'll pick the question on the fly. Again, one more time, we'll have that specific Q&A session at the end for anything that we didn't discuss during the session. So that will be the time for you to participate and ask. Please do not be shy. I am here to help. So any question you may have, just type it. Okay. And by the way, if the question was to be a question that you want to keep a bit anonymous, just type it, send to the admin only, and therefore I will be the only one seeing your question. And when I answer you, I will not reveal your name, so everybody can get their questions answered. Okay. Let's take advantage of this time all together. Okay. Very good to see you all, my friends. It's It's a delight for me to see you, TK, to see you, Boyan, everyone, Onga. Really a pleasure. Anyway, so quick introduction. So who am I? My name is Jose. I love trading. I am crazily passionate about it, both trading and technology, and I trade everything because every asset got pros and cons. Definitely currencies and Forex, it's something I enjoy very much, which is directly related to today's presentation with MetaTrader. So you will see me plan a few trades later in the presentation. But basically, I've been trading since 2008. Again, it's something that, it's muscle memory at this time in my life. I turn on the computer, load a chart, and, that's it. Here's the trade, right? And I really, really, really love it. Okay. Having said that, we need to approach trading as a business. It doesn't matter how much you love it. You have to be serious. You have to be disciplined. Most of you know that. Most of you have taken training with me, with us, and you know that too. But again, for the newer traders in the community, just make sure you apply yourself, because trading is a beautiful thing to be done. But if it's done right, if it's not done right, then it's actually problematic. Okay, so we need to make sure that you are using the right tools, the right processes, and also the right mindset and discipline, which that comes from you, my friends. We can guide you, but definitely it needs to come from your end, okay? So as a company, our key website, in case you don't know, is tradewithufos.com. This is the website where you have access to all the traddictiv tools. Traddictiv is the name of our company, but our community is called Trade with UFOs. And if you never heard the term UFOs before, well, it looks like flying saucers, like unknown flying objects on the charts. You will see that in a minute. Okay, so here's a quick flash of MetaTrader, and you can see here some flying saucers on the screen. So they look like UFOs, okay, but really, as you will learn later in the presentation, if you don't know yet, UFO stands for on-field orders, and this is one more time something extremely powerful. Okay. So anyway, so what is MetaTrader? Okay, what is MetaTrader? Well, MetaTrader is an open source trading platform. That's what it is. And because it's open sourced, it's being used by many traders in the world, because the business model of the company who created MetaTrader basically is about providing the client, the software client, the software that traders utilize on their computers, provide that software for free. That's why it's open source. And make a business out of, basically dealing with the back end of the brokerage firms. This company also provides, the MetaTrader back end, if you wish, which is what the brokers use. And this is where they charge, and this is where they make their business. So because it's free for traders and it's not too pricey for brokers, MetaTrader became extremely popular throughout the years. Since many years ago, it's probably one of the platforms that is used the most worldwide, especially the MT4, which is the version 4 of MetaTrader, if you wish. Okay. Now, MetaQuotes, which is the company that created MetaTrader, is actively pushing and migrating both users and broker to MT5 because of multiple reasons, which are technological, but also limitations of MT4, such as the fact that you can only trade Forex. You cannot trade CFDs, for example, or other products. And therefore, there is a massive push from MetaQuotes to migrate everybody to MT5. Some brokers are doing it quicker than others, but in the end, there will be a moment in time where MT4 is discontinued, which is the main intention of MetaQuotes that was set, let's call it 2 years ago or something like that. And they are in that migration process at this moment as we speak. Okay. So again, MetaTrader is extremely popular. It's easy to use if you wish, but it has a series of disadvantages, as we will address later on, and we will address as well how to overcome those disadvantages. Okay, with the solution I will present today. Now that you know what is MetaTrader, which probably most of you knew because again it's very popular. The next question is, what is AutoUFOs? Which again, if you are part of our community, for sure you know too. If you are not part of our community, so basically AutoUFOs is a trading app, is trading technology that plots flying saucers on the screen, green UFOs that represent buy on-field orders, red UFOs, red flying saucers that represent sell on-field orders. Okay, we like to accompany AutoUFOs with another tool that measures the market climate, which we call autoclimate. When you subscribe to AutoUFOs, AutoClimate is free, so we really like to put them together if you wish, because while AutoUFOs is very powerful, one of the biggest issues that many traders have is to trade when it's no time to trade. So one thing that AutoClimate helps traders do is to identify when it's time to trade or when it's no time to trade. And if it's time to trade, is it time to go long or is it time to go short? Okay, and all of this, it's based on statistical data and statistical measurements. So again, it's black or white. It's not based on emotions or preferences or anything like that. When we trade, we need to be objective. We should not be doing any trading action that has to do with your preferences. It should be based on stats and measurable data that makes you objective. Objective makes you mechanical. Mechanical is consistent action. Consistent action leads to consistent result. If you were to not to be mechanical, then your action is random, and unless you are a lucky trader, normally your results will be quite random or variable. Okay, and we want consistency, isn't it? So again, AutoUFOs really it's the king, is the key. But AutoUFO works very well when combined with AutoClimate, because let's say you have an up climate. So what happens to those on-field orders? Where in an up climate, buy on-field orders tend to be added, while sell on-field orders tend to be cancelled. So then, in other words, the red UFOs may not work so well if the climate is up, and the green UFOs may work quite well when the climate is up, and vice versa. When the climate is down, the red UFOs are likely going to work well, and the green UFOs are likely to work less well when the climate is down. Is that making sense? So again, just a little side note related to AutoClimate. Again, it's a tool that you get for free with AutoUFOs, and it's important that you understand that concept. So coming back to AutoUFOs, AutoUFOs identifies the location of on-field orders, and that is very helpful in order to define what we call strong price points. That is very helpful from a statistical point of view to define good prices for you to go long, the right price for you to buy and go long, the right price for you to sell and go short, and also for targets in a way that is optimal. Often traders leave money on the table, and I mean, it's not like we have a crystal ball and you can never leave money on the table, but the more precise the tools that you use, the less money you leave on the table, and therefore the more efficient and safe your trading methodology. Okay. Your AutoClimate only shows red and blue and white, and is there a newer version? No, it's exactly the same, and AutoClimate is here, and as you can see, it shows also blue and red. Okay, so the AutoClimate is the bottom part. The top part is AutoUFOs, it's not AutoClimate. Okay, so if you are using AutoClimate but you are not using AutoUFO, that may be the reason why you don't see the flying saucers on the main section of your chart. Okay, and maybe this is the reason, Jack. If I misunderstood your question, please feel free to elaborate, and I will keep looking at the chat box to answer. Now, what are those UFOs relevant? Well, it's because of the order flow. Okay, and this is going to be a little bit of a crash course on order flow, so we speak the same language. Okay, so order flow refers to the continuous process by which buy and sell orders keep entering and also exiting a market. Okay, so as we speak, there are people clicking the buy and the sell button on the internet. The orders enter the market, and when they get executed, a market movement is going to happen. Okay, the settings we're going to take a look at that in a minute, Vinny. The answer is yes, but you will see there are actually more functionality. There is more functionality in here, as you will see. So as those tickets are coming in and out, okay, depending on the quantity of tickets, depending on the quantity of orders, and if they are to buy or to sell, then the market would react to them, isn't it? So depending on finding a valid counterparty, these orders may end up executed and create an impact, and the market moved. If there is a lot of buying, the market would move up. If there is a lot of selling, the market would move down. Or if the price was not to find a counterparty, okay, no one wanted to buy or sell at that price, so then the orders may be canceled after a while. And even though they were on-field orders, they didn't really do anything because price never came back to that price point. Again, I'm sharing some concepts, which is a bit theory at this moment in time. Make sure you understand I will be moving into the charts in a few minutes, and I will be illustrating that with examples. So this will click in case you are not familiar with those terms and techniques, okay? So no worries about that. Fully executed orders are known as field orders. These are the orders that have already been executed and therefore they are gone. Those trades are over. On-field orders are the orders that are still in the market waiting to be executed, and those are the ones that we care about, because if you were to buy at the same price where there are many buy orders waiting to get filled, many buy UFOs, and after you buy, those on-field orders get filled, they become FOs. So what's going to happen? The market is going to move your way after you got into the trade. So now you are in a profitable trade thanks to the UFOs getting filled. Okay, so that's why we care a lot about the on-field order, and we like to call it UFO, which is a simplistic way to approach it. Simple is good, isn't it? But another way to think about it is the UFOs are the direct force in the market. In the market, we got two forces, the direct forces and the indirect forces. What are the UFOs? They are the direct force. There are many things, there are many forces that impact the market. Okay, I'm not saying that the only thing that matters is the UFOs. There are many things. I mean, if I was to look for a very extreme example, and you may have heard me use that example before because it's a very extreme example, so you remember this forever. Then I would point at the tsunami in Japan that took place years and years ago. And you may say, wait a minute, when the tsunami in Japan took place, the Japanese market moved a lot. So the reason why the market moved was the tsunami in Japan, right? So news, reports, fundamentals, of course, they may impact a market, okay? But here's the key. Markets only move when the trading session is open. And this is only because the orders cannot be filled if the market is closed. Orders can only be executed when we are during market hours, when the markets are open. Okay, so if the tsunami in Japan took place the way it took place, but let's say that happened over the weekend, and the market was closed, while there was a potential force that could move the market, well, guess what? It would not have moved over the weekend, because while the tsunami is happening and it's real and it's crazy and it's powerful and it's impactful and it's everything, right? Well, because orders didn't get filled, because the market was closed, then the markets will not move. Now, of course, you may argue, what about Monday? Well, of course, Monday, the markets will reopen, and all the orders added or cancelled as a consequence of the tsunami will now be triggered and filled, and now the market would move. So, again, what's the egg and what's the chicken? Well, you can think about it in different ways, and, there is no right or wrong on how to think about this. But what's clear is that the market will not move unless the orders will get filled. That's why we are calling those those on-field orders direct forces, and that's the power of AutoUFOs, that it finds the direct forces in the market, so you can rely on that when you plan your trades. Okay, so market moves cannot occur while the market is closed, which is when no orders are being filled. So a sensible conclusion is that the flow of orders entering the market is the one direct force responsible for price movement, while there are many other reasons, which may be the reason why the orders exist in the first place. Okay, it could be a very powerful influence for the orders to exist, but no movement would happen unless those orders change status from on-field to field. Is that making sense? So what's the ultimate goal? And later I will show a little bit of how I trade in case you have not seen me trade before. And you will see that basically what I like to do in trading is I like to find both the direct force and the indirect force and put them together to end up with trades which are of a higher probability of success. Okay, so we're gonna see that in a minute. Okay, Ferry, we'll take a look at your question later on. Okay, I am focusing now on the lecture, if you don't mind. Okay, so why AutoUFO? Well, AutoUFO is an app designed to enhance your trading performance. Remember, AutoUFOs look like that. It shows you flying saucers on the chart. I could, change, to another symbol, for example, the Euro Japanese yen. And if I plug in it here immediately you get to know where the unfilled orders are for the Euro Japanese yen, 132.32. That's it. That's how long it took. Okay. You want to change to the pound. So you take the pound, you drag it into the chart, and here we go. This is where the unfilled orders are, 140.34. Okay. So this is the direct force in the market in that particular time frame. I'll come back to the charts in a minute. So this is important because it helps to increase trading performance. It adds more precision. It eliminates subjectivity. And very important, it helps spend much less time when looking for trade ideas and executing them, which is a big issue. Okay, time. Everybody's busy. We all have responsibilities. You may have kids. You may have a job. You may be commuting. There is always something to do, and learning how to trade takes time. Practicing to develop a skill takes time. Even when you have the skill, trading takes time. So to me, anything that saves you time, it's something definitely that needs to be as a tool that I use. It's like, who utilizes, paper maps nowadays, right? So everybody uses GPSs, right? So why? Well, same story. Everybody who's looking at trading seriously would be open to utilize tools such as AutoUFOs, isn't it? So AutoUFOs assist traders to trade mechanically with more confidence and less emotions, and that improves consistency. There are a few keywords, okay? Mechanical approach to trading. I talked about that before. This is the recipe for consistency, right? You want consistent action that leads to consistent results. But also, confidence and emotions is key, right? Confidence and emotions is key because, as you will see later, okay, maybe I can just do it now, okay? So if I get here into AutoUFOs and I was to point at this figure, so here it's a measurement of statistics that tell you more about what we call the UFO performance stats, which I will explain later. So in other words, let's say you are trading the British pound today, but you never traded the pound today, and the pound is giving you 58.66. Okay, but you are used to trade the euro, but you never traded the pound. And let's say the euro is giving you 59. Well, if the euro is giving you 59 and the pound is giving you 58.6, so it's fair to say that you should be fairly confident to trade the pound just like when you trade the euro, even though maybe you never traded the pound before. You don't need to spend a year of your life looking at the pound to finally build some confidence. You can just rely on statistical data to build your confidence. And if you are confident, you should have an easier time managing your emotions and not to get upset and not to get greedy and not to get fearful and all of those different things, isn't it? AutoUFOs can be applied to all assets and all time frames. So I'll do a demonstration of that later on. AutoUFOs can be used either on its own or combined with any other trading methodology as an enhancer. So later I will talk about what if you plan a trade and the only thing you look at is AutoUFOs. But also I will look at the charts and I will be like, okay, what if you combine UFOs with moving averages? What if you combine UFOs with fibs? What if you combine UFOs with you name it? And you'll see how this could act as an enhancer and make your trading performance potentially even better. Okay, so here's an example of using AutoUFOs by itself. This is on the slides. Later I will move into real-time charts, but this is on the slides because if you guys want to ask for a copy of the slides, just feel free to send an email to support. Let me type it here so you guys can, you will know what to do. So support at traddictiv.com. So you could send an email to support at traddictiv.com requesting a copy of the slides, and I'll be more than happy. The team will be more than happy to email you with the slides. So then those examples are going to be there, and you can just go back and review what you are learning in today's session. Okay. But again, I cannot wait to get into the real-time charts because then it's going to be a bit more dynamic than looking at a static slide. Okay. But let's begin here. So what do we see if you are looking at that chart? Well, you see that there is a red UFO that could be used for a short entry. Okay. What else do we have? We have a green UFO. This could be used for a target, okay? So you will want your short entry to be 0.7856 because that's the entry price for that UFO. And then above 78.598, then you will want to place a stop loss order in case those orders get canceled, okay? Because they are on-field orders, remember. They will tend to get filled, but sometimes they may get canceled, typically because of a change of climate. So what would you want to do? You would want to stop yourself out, therefore you minimize the loss. We always need to manage risk. UFOs is powerful, but there is not a magic formula where you always win. We are traders, my friends. We are business people. We are serious. We are disciplined. We always manage risk. We always use stop loss orders. Now, what if the trade works your way, which is what is to be expected, isn't it? So you would expect this market to come to this UFO, right? And when it gets to the UFO, you expect it to go down and down and down and down and down. And when it gets to that UFO, this is where you want to take your profits, okay? Of course, you have the stop in case it keeps going higher. So you are out at this price point and your loss is limited, okay? So you want to plan for what if you're right and what if you're wrong, knowing that if you sell at 0.7856, odds are in your favor because this is where the location of sell on field order is. So your entry would be 56, your stop would be above 59.8, your target would be 78.32, and if you were to do that, you would be risking 4 pips. This is a 5-minute time frame, so this is a very, very quick trade and very small risk, obviously. But it doesn't need to be like that. We'll look at larger time frames later on as well. So in this case, you will be risking 4 pips in exchange to make 24 pips. That would be a 6-to-1. Good one. If you lose 6 times less. If you profit 6 times more. Way to go. If you get stopped out, it's fine. Take another trade because you lost very little compared to how much you make when you make money. Is that making sense in this example? So again, this is just an example to be documented on the slides. I'm going to be looking at the real-time markets in a moment, okay? And this, by the way, was the end result of this trade, where, as expected, the price came to the UFO and dropped to the next UFO, where the profits, would have been taken. So why is this exciting? Okay. Well, this is exciting because it's powerful. Okay, and you may be thinking, if you knew the UFOs already, you may be thinking, but I knew that already, Jose. Okay. Well, there is more to that. Why is it powerful? Well, because our MetaTrader solution, our AutoUFO in MetaTrader solution, runs 24/7 on the cloud. It's not like a regular MetaTrader platform that you install in your Windows PC that may hang or your internet may get disconnected or things like that. This is a MetaTrader solution that runs 24 hours on the cloud. So if you notice, if I go back to MetaTrader, you may realize that it's running within a browser window, right? So it's on the cloud. It's not software installed on my machine. Second, it's robust with no interruptions like when running MetaTrader locally. So it's not running on Windows. Even if it's on the cloud, it's not even window. It's proper servers, like the type of servers and technology that is being used by funds when they manage money at a large scale. Okay, so this is robust on the cloud. Low latency because you can deploy your own MetaTrader on the cloud in a location which is either close to you or close to your broker. Later, I will show you how to subscribe to it, and you will see that you could have your MetaTrader in New York if you want to. Maybe you're in Asia, or you can have your MetaTrader in Asia. Maybe you're in New York, etc. So I will show you how that works. It's all synced, meaning that you may access your MetaTrader from different devices, no need for installations, and if you draw a line on the chart, or you've made a note on the chart the last time you got into your MetaTrader and now you are using it again from a different computer, not an issue. Whatever you did on computer 1 is seen real time in computer 2, including mobile devices or tablets and so on. So it's very, very powerful that the fact that it's all sync, again, saves you time. It's all 24/7, meaning that your trailing stops are 24/7. So with MetaTrader, if you have MetaTrader on your computer and you turn off your computer or you close MetaTrader, trailing stops don't work. Alerts don't work. Expert advisors, if you run automation on MetaTrader, don't work. With our MetaTrader solution, it's all on the cloud, it's 24/7, so all keeps running non-stop. You have on-screen UFO performance stats, which is the little metric, that little figure here, 59.10 in this case. That's UFO performance stats. I'll talk a bit more about that later on, but again, it's a fantastic feature that allows you to calibrate AutoUFOs to your liking, and also become aware when you trade a new currency or a new CFD you never traded before. It helps you become aware of should you even trade that market, or orders tend to be canceled more often than orders tend to get filled. If the probability is very low, don't trade. That's simple. Unlimited UFOs. Well, unlimited depending on the max bars and the chart. Okay, so when you look at MetaTrader on the tool menu, okay, and you MetaTrader users, you know these by heart for sure. You have the options on the tool menu, and if you get here on their charts, you can go ahead and select the max bars for the charts. So if you load 50,000 bars, or if you load, 500,000 bars, the more bars you load, the more UFOs you will be plotting. I would say you don't need more than 50,000 bars, but if anyone in the group is a super perfectionist trader and you want to load, 1,000,000 bars, so you can go for it, and of course you'll have more UFOs. Okay. No need to change to another broker. Why? Because MetaTrader is an open source platform that can be connected to any broker which provides MT5. Our MetaTrader solution is not MT4, is MT5. Why? Because MT4 is in the process of being discontinued. Therefore, it doesn't make sense for us to implement an MT4 solution just for maybe a year or two. So we moved directly to MT5, which is more modern, it's multi-threaded, it's more powerful. It allows for customized time frames, like for example, the 2-minute time frame, the 3-minute time frame, the 10-minute time frame. All of those things are not available on MT4, but they are on MT5. Plus, you got CFDs too. And the beauty is that, again, it's MT5, is MetaTrader. So because it's MetaTrader, you can always come here and either open an account or log in, okay, to any of your brokers. When you subscribe to AutoUFOs for MetaTrader, the team will email you a user guide, and that user guide teaches you how to connect to your broker. Again, my point right now is that no matter who your broker is, if you have an MT5 account, you will be able to connect to our solution, no matter if your broker is in Cyprus or in the US or in Singapore or in any other country. It doesn't matter, because the MetaTrader ecosystem connects all brokers, and therefore our solution is connected to all brokers worldwide. So how do you subscribe? Well, it's very simple. You go to our website, tradewithufos.com/apps. Okay, I will just ask the team to pop a direct link to MetaTrader for AutoUFOs. Okay, so you guys can connect. In another choice is for you to go ahead and scan this particular QR code, and then that will bring you straight into our website. Let me show you how it looks like when you go straight to our website. So this is our website, Trade with UFOs. Okay, you guys, I believe most of you should be familiar of this website, and if not, today is the day for you to discover our website. When you click on the app section, when you click on that QR code I just posted, you can come in here into our Discover App sections, okay? And the three options in the middle are the three ways for you to get MetaTrader, which one, it's a light version of MetaTrader if you wish, with autoclimate only. The second one, we call it AutoUFOs, but it has autoclimate for free built in, and those are monthly subscriptions. You also have the yearly subscription, where basically it's a bit more advantageous from a cost point of view for you to use it. Okay, so this is basically how you get it. Okay, so you have three choices. Okay, and that's basically it. You just click Get Started, and then you just follow the process and add your name and so on. And once you are subscribed, okay, to access MetaTrader, it's actually very, very easy. Okay, you just come to our website, traddictiv.com/MetaTrader, or here's another QR code for you to scan, so you have it. Okay, and the moment you go to this website, there is a place for you to input your credentials that you will have the moment you have subscribed, and then you click login, and you will get this message, login successful, and it gets you into MetaTrader. So let me demonstrate very quickly the login process. It's very straightforward, but just for you to see. So this is our traddictiv.com website. Here is the MetaTrader login button on the top. Again, if you use traddictiv.com/MetaTrader, you come here straight. Okay, so you input your credentials, click login. Okay, and this is gonna do multiple confirmations. So it's gonna take just a few seconds because it needs to validate that you're subscribed, and also it needs to validate in the MetaTrader network if you wish. Login is successful. It is now loading MetaTrader, and here is your MetaTrader. Okay, which, by the way, I am using this MetaTrader in Google Chrome, where a minute ago I was using the same MetaTrader in Microsoft Edge, and notice how all looks the same because it's the same MetaTrader. Remember, it's all synced. Okay, so great example as well to illustrate my point earlier when I talked about that. Okay, so anyway, so this is how you access. Okay, so I'll go back to the slide. I'll give you 1 second here. I'll take a sip of water if you don't mind. Maybe you wanna also scan that QR code, or maybe you wanna make a note of the URL so you have it. Thank you for that. Remember, the moment you subscribe to AutoUFOs for MetaTrader, you will be sent the user guide. All of this is in there as well. But you know, I thought of illustrating it, and then, you know, the moment you log in, here's your MetaTrader. Okay, how do you get the indicators? You just, like you would do with any MetaTrader, you just drag them on the chart. Okay, so you grab them from here. Okay, and you drag them inside the chart. So if I go back to MetaTrader, I already have the UFOs on the chart. Okay, but they are here. So if I wanted to add them, you just click and hold and drag them on the chart, and that's it. Okay, I'm not gonna do it because they're already there. Okay, so I'm just coming back to where I was, but that's how you do it. It's very simple. And then the UFOs are running, and then we'll talk about some settings in a few minutes as well. So I will show you a bit of my preferences so you understand more about the tools. Okay, so looking forward to do that now with real time. As I was saying since the beginning of the presentation today, I'm looking forward to spend a little bit of time not on the PowerPoint slide, but on the real time UFOs with MetaTrader. So let's do that. Remember, I said I have a bonus for you guys as well for attending the session. So I'll come back to the bonus later on. Okay, but just for you to know, you're gonna have free access to a free course with a special coupon code. So I'll come back to this later, and I will show you this much better, and we'll do the Q&A at the end properly and so on. But I guess you are eager to spend some time with MetaTrader, so let's do that. So here we go. So again, first of all, on the left, I have structured my charts the way is my preference. I have a chart on the left with autoclimate. Okay, you can see here the name autoclimate. So again, I like to use the chart on the left to tell me if it's time to trade or not. And if so, is it time to go long or time to go short? And once I've done that, then on the right, I get my flying saucers, red and green, and then I get ready to plan my trades. Of course, this needs to be done in the context of a trading plan. I believe that all of you that are trading should have, or understand you should have, a trading plan. And basically the trading plan should define the time frames that you are willing to trade. In my case, I like to trade many time frames, so I have a very open trading plan, but everybody's different, and you may have a plan that only allows you to trade 2 time frames only or something like that, and there is no right or wrong. What matters is that you have a plan, so you are always mechanical on your approach. Okay, let's say your plan had you decide that you're going to be trading the 4-hour time frame combined with the let me move to the 30-minute time frame here. Okay, so let's say your plan has you trade the 30-minute time frame combined with the 4-hour time frame. Let's say this is your plan. So what would you want to do? You will want to go ahead and look for those opportunities, okay, on those particular time frames. Okay, so since I got the euro, okay, so let's pretend I'm planning a trade with the euro. Actually, let's not pretend, let's do it. Let's plan a trade on the euro and see if the trade is accepted or not. So what would you do? The first thing is you would load, again, assuming that your plan has you trade the 4-hour time frame. So you would load the 4-hour time frame and look at the climate. And the climate is blue and thick, means the climate is confirmed. You have permission to trade to the long side. So knowing that, you will want to find the value of the EMA. Okay, the EMA in this case, this is a crash course on how I trade. The EMA in this case represents the indirect forces. Remember earlier in the presentation, in the lecture time, I mentioned that we have direct forces and indirect forces in the market. So the direct force is the UFOs on the right, isn't it? So what's the indirect force is going to be that EMA. Okay, why? Because many times, as you can see, price comes to the EMA and reacts to it. Okay, not always, but many times it does, both to the upside as well as to the downside. It comes to the EMA and reacts to it. Okay, so I would be expecting price to come to the EMA and react to it. So I would want to be a buyer where that indirect force is, but only if that indirect force lines up well with the direct force UFO. So if I put my mouse on that candle and I look at the value of the EMA, that is 121.04, which 121.04 is more or less here. And unfortunately, it is not lining up with where the on-field orders are on my 30-minute time frame. So what would I do in a case like this? I would just pass. Okay, no trade. Why? Because while you have an indirect force, it's not validated by the direct force. They are not working in tandem. And while the trade could work, it's a trade of less probability compared to if the UFOs located, starting here at 120.87 all the way to 120.70. Okay, so if those UFOs were to envelop that EMA, so now you would have the direct and the indirect force lining up, and that would be delightful to plan on taking a trade. So we don't have a valid trade on the euro. So what would you want to do? Easy. You would move to another trade. In this case, the Aussie yen. So I'm dragging that chart into both charts. I'm dragging that symbol into both charts, I meant to say. So we have the 4-hour on the Aussie yen, which is also giving us permission to be a buyer. Okay. And we have the UFOs on the right on the 30-minute time frame. Again, I'm using those time frames, assuming that this is my style. I could certainly understand if you trade other time frames as well. Okay. So what would you want to do? Same story. You would be looking, since the climate is blue and the dot is thick, it's confirmed. So you would want to go ahead and look at. Sorry for that. I just moved my mouse. I want to make sure I am pointing at the right candle. So the EMA is 84.73, and by the way, 84.73 is within that UFO beautifully. Okay, so 73 is inside that UFO. So in other words, if the Aussie yen was to fall where the EMA is, and we expect a bounce, right? Like it happens, not always. In this case, it went below, but other times it comes and bounces. Okay. Sometimes it goes a little below, by the way, okay, which it's normal. Even sometimes it goes quite below, which is normal too. And that's why I'm delighted to see that 84.73 is more or less here, where the bottom part of the UFO goes all the way to 52. In other words, my trading range, okay, my buy zone is from here to here. So if the Aussie yen comes to this buy zone, I want to buy expecting the on-field orders to push the price up, especially given the fact that those on-field orders are joining forces with the indirect force EMA. Okay, so I am delighted to see all of this happening, and therefore I am happy to plan on a trade. Now, if I was to take this trade, where should I take profit? Well, you could take profit using that upper UFO. Okay, you could. So buy here and take profits up there. Okay, so you could. So you are buying here with a stop below. Okay, so the difference between 75 and 52, okay, which is like 25 pips, that's your risk. And the difference between 68 and 75, which is almost 100 pips, it's your reward. So you are risking 25 to make 90 something pips. So it's almost 4 to 1. Nice. Okay. Some of you may be more conservative, and definitely that would be me. I would look at larger time frames as well. And if I look at larger time frames, okay, I would be pointing at that upper UFO. I would ignore this UFO because price is already inside. But I would go for the next one, which is 49. Okay, so 85.49. It's a bit closer than 85.68. So it's more or less here. So I would set my target here at 49, which again, instead of a 4-to-1, it's kind of like a 3-to-1, kind of. I didn't do the math, but more or less, okay? So let's place an order. How do you place an order? You would just double click on Aussie yen. We would move to a pending order. It's gonna be a buy limit where we want to buy. I will not do a calculation for size today. I'm just gonna pretend I'm gonna buy, 0.10. Okay, I'm just gonna go with that. Just as an example, of course, please calculate your size when you trade. Everybody here in the group today has a different account size, so I'll just go with 0.10. But everybody, please calculate your size when you trade. And then my entry price would be 84.758. Okay, with a stop loss below that value, which is 84.526. Okay, so I'm just gonna make it a round number. 84.70. We'll make it. That's 52. Okay, here. Yeah, so 52. So we'll make it. Let's call it 51. Okay. And by the way, in cases like this, okay, when those UFOs are so close, okay, the top of this UFO is 59.0. 51 is right there. So they are basically kissing each other. Those two UFOs. They are so close, isn't it? So definitely it's recommended to set your stop in the very bottom part below 38. Of course, that means that if this is going to be your target and this vertical distance represents your risk, so basically this trade is going to be like a 2-to-1 instead of a 3-to-1. Okay, so you're going to have more risk, but also you're going to have less of a probability of being stopped out. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to make it 37 just so I go 1 pip below the entry, and then the profit we said was going to be 47. I believe I said 47 or 42. I'm not sure now. I'll do 42. Okay, just to save time for the session. Okay, so that would be your entry, stop, and target. Okay, and when you place the order, okay, well, I'm using a new demo account in this particular session, and I forgot to turn on a switch for the account to be active. So sorry for that. When I place the order, it's giving me that particular error message. Okay, so sorry for that. This is my bad. I forgot to do something before the session started today. Not ideal. But in any case, instead of trade disable, it would just say, the order is in. Okay, and that's it. You would be not in the trade, but waiting to get filled to be in a trade that meets your parameters. Okay, so this is how you plan a trade. And again, the beauty of UFO and climate, you can see how it takes really no time to put the trade in place. And you also have a measurement of probability, which certainly helps you very much. This measurement of probability is there to help you calibrate the app, because take a look at this. If I right click and I go to the indicator list and I pick my AutoUFO and I go to properties, this allows me to change my calibration settings. The one that comes by default is 0.5. Okay, this is the one that comes by default, 0.5. So if I use 0.5, notice how the probability becomes 58%. My preference, okay, and you know this if you have been in any of my sessions before, which doesn't mean it has to be your calibration, but my preference is 0.618. Okay, it's the Fibonacci golden ratio, and again, that's my preference for multiple reasons, and that's what I use. That gives me 62%, but it doesn't need to be like that. Okay, there are other calibration metrics that may even give you more than 62%, but the problem is that typically what happens. And yeah, that was a funny one, isn't it, Mark? I'm not so proud that this happened, but I think it's good enough, to be honest. Coming back to what I was saying, the calibration, you may use a different value compared to the one I presented, 0.618, and you may get 65%, 70%, 75%. But what's the issue with that? Well, the issue with that is that your UFOs are more powerful, but you have less of them. So, you have ways on how to calibrate the app where you have less probability, but more UFOs, meaning you trade more often, but you get stopped out more often. Or you can calibrate the apps where you have less UFOs, so it's less trades, but you get stopped out less often. Okay? So then what's best? Well, it really depends on you. It really depends on your preferences, on are you risk averse or not, and therefore calibration is such an important step to do. The user guide you will be sent the moment you subscribe to the app will basically lead you into how to do the calibration, and I recommend everybody to spend a fair amount of time calibrating. And the moment you have calibrated the app and you made it to your liking, then you leave it alone. Okay, it's no need for you to calibrate every week or every year. You know, I know my calibration is 61.8 and that's it. And I've been using it like that for years. Done. But everybody is different, and what I mean to say by different is different mindset, different trading psychology. So in order for you to have emotions under control, have confidence, trade comfortably, you need to make sure that you calibrate the app to your liking. Okay, so we are all different from a trading mindset point of view. Keep that in mind. It is, my friends, very, very important. Okay. It's not about copying some trader or copying me. I mean, certainly, I would feel that you guys enjoy and respect my teaching very much if you plan to do that. So that, I would say thank you very much for that. But at the same time, it would not be a good thing for you because we all have a different trading psychology. I am very conservative as a trader, for example. I am very aggressive taking profit. Right, so that makes me very conservative as a trader, and you may not be the same as me. So please calibrate the app to your liking by following the process I showed you, which is also described on the user guide. Okay. What else I would like to show you in today's session? Okay. One of the things that we said is that I wanted to show you as well how to combine the UFOs with any other trading technique. To be honest, I kind of showed you how to combine the UFOs with moving averages. Okay, so that I kind of done. But what if instead of moving averages, let's say you are a Fibonacci trader. Okay, so let's say for example you don't deal with autoclimate. Let's say you are trading the GBP CAD, and the only thing you care about is fibs, and your life is all about fibs, and the only thing you do is fibs, and that's it. Okay, so what can you do? Well, maybe you have a rule where you use the 4-hour time frame to draw fibs, okay? And then you use the 30-minute time frame for the UFOs. So, and maybe your rule says that you need to find at least 3 movements to be able to draw 3 impulses followed by other impulses to draw your fibs. So here is the first impulse, okay? So you will draw your fibs from this to here. Sorry, I didn't do it right. Let me correct that. Okay. For whatever reason, I'm having trouble. Okay, for whatever reason, I cannot delete it from there. It's weird. Let me delete it from the object menu. Okay. Okay. One second, I just selected by mistake list all and I wanted to select delete. That's it, I got it. Perfect, sorry for that. So back, let's say you are drawing 3 Fibonacci's, okay? So you would start from here and go all the way to here. So this would be the first impulse. Then you are looking for the second impulse from here all the way to here. Okay, and then let's say you're looking for the third impulse. Let's say your rules have you draw 3. Okay, there are many ways on how to draw Fibonacci's. I'm just giving you an example. So you will go from here to here, and now you got 3. Okay, so now you got all those Fibonacci lines, and some of them actually they are nested Fibonacci's. Okay, so what would you do now? Now you would move to the 30-minute time frame and basically look for UFOs that are lining up with your fibs, and notice that that UFO is lining up with one of the fibs. That one is not. Okay. That one is lining up with fibs. Okay. That one is not. And that one is not. Okay. And apart from that, you have many fib levels that are not lining up with anything at all. So in other words, that Fibonacci level, for example, right here, is low probability. I mean, it may work because it is an indirect force, but there is no on-field orders at this moment in time. So you are relying on on-field orders to be added. You are not relying on on-field orders that already exist. So it's only an indirect force with no direct force combined. In other words, probability is less. So, a Fibonacci trader may say, I'm not going to take this one. Instead, I'll take the 61.8. Why? Because I got the indirect force and the direct force. Okay? Or same with that one, that 23.6 could also be a good one because of that reason. Okay? And again, the other fibs, even if they're nested, they are not lining up with UFOs, and therefore they are indirect forces. They are not direct forces. Okay? So again, the probability is less. So this is how you could combine other trading techniques, and it could be support resistance, it could be a breakout, it could be a chart pattern like a head and shoulders or a cup and a handle. Maybe you are trading candlestick patterns in a larger time frame. So maybe you have a doji candle in a weekly time frame, for example, and you expect a breakout from the high of that weekly high. Whatever is it that you do, turn on the UFOs, and now you get to have visibility when it comes to the order flow. So now you know where the on-field orders are, and you know if your trade is to be approved or discarded. Okay. The small panel on the right is called the data window, and basically it helps me when I put my mouse in any candle, for example here, okay, right there. So it helps me to see the values for that candle. It's called the data window. Okay, very good. So anyway, and also one more thing I would like to do. We are getting close to the end of the session. One more thing I would like to do as well. I would like to show you how to set alerts. Okay, because one of the big disadvantages of MetaTrader when you run it on your computer is that alerts don't work, because you will turn off your computer and then there is no alerts. Well, because this is a cloud version of MetaTrader, alerts work 24 hours a day. So there is a notification section on the options menu. Okay, so you could install the MetaTrader 5 app on your phone, so you can get push notifications, and that MetaTrader 5 app on your phone has a MetaQuote ID. Okay, so you can then paste it on your cloud version of MetaTrader, and now let's say that I want to be alerted when price comes close to the UFO. So you can right click right there, select trading, select alert, okay, and it places that little arrow there. You see that? Which also, if you go down to the alert tab, you would be able to see that, okay, that now there is an alert there at 170.52. That's the one I just placed. It has not been hit. How do you know? The counter is 0. Okay, but the moment it's hit, what's going to happen? You receive push notifications on your phone, even if you close this window, even if you turn off your computer, because while you turn off your computer, your MetaTrader runs 24/7 on the cloud. Okay, so again, it's useful, it's powerful. You could use that, as a tool to alert you when it's time to move a stop, as a tool to alert you when it's time to take partial profits, alert you when it's time to review a trade that you're planning to use. You can modify the alert, you can delete the alert, you can do all sorts of things. And again, it's quite cool. Okay, it's certainly a feature that a trading platform should have. Okay, not having alerts, or having alerts, but if you turn off your computer, they don't work. It's quite uncomfortable, isn't it? Anyway, my friends, so I'll come back to the slides. Okay, so you guys can get a bit more detail on that little bonus I said that we have for you. Which, by the way, when I say little bonus, to be honest, is not little bonus. It's a complete course on how to do a forex carry trade. So you can just scan that QR code or use the link below, tradewithufos.com/product/the forex carry trade. Okay, it looks like that if you go to the website. Okay, so it will bring you to this page. Okay, and what you do, okay, is you add to basket. Okay, like you were to purchase. This is a $34 course, so it's like you were going to purchase that course. Okay, but the moment you add to basket, okay, let me go back to the slide. So here it says that there is a coupon code called carried away, right? And that will make it free. So that's what you do. Okay, you come in here, it says apply coupon. You type carried away, And the moment you type carried away, you apply the coupon, and you will see that $34, okay, when you scroll down, becomes free. Okay, it's just taking a little bit of time. So that subtotal total 34 will become 0, as you can see. So now you can continue, proceed to checkout, and basically you get the course that you can then attend and watch on our website. It's a collection of videos. You can download the PDF content of the course as well. And now you can go ahead and do carry trades, which is pretty cool in the Forex arena. So that's it. Okay, you have it. So hopefully you had time to. Thank you so much, Juan. So hopefully you had the chance to take a screenshot, with that QR code, or you had the opportunity to make a note of the URL. I'm going to move to the last section, or last slide for today, which is basically opening up for a few questions in case you have. I think I've been answering almost everything you've been asking, but just in case, let me see. Onga, you are asking about other subscriptions such as TradingView. These are totally independent subscriptions, okay? So just like if you ever purchase a course, let's say you purchase the futures course and now you want to purchase the stock course or the Forex course, those are independent subscriptions. So you can just subscribe to it, and you could cancel your prior subscription if you want to switch platform, but those are independent subscriptions. What else? Jack, I only use TradeStation because you can trade futures with ticks. Absolutely right. MetaTrader will not allow you to do that. Okay, MetaTrader is in most of the cases Forex and CFDs. There is only one broker in the world that I know that allows trading futures with MetaTrader, and even if you did it with that broker, you will not get ticks on the chart because MetaTrader does not have that feature. Okay. Again, remember, it's an open source platform, so it has some limitations. The fact that we made it cloud-based implies that there are many more features and benefits and strengths, but tick charts do not exist on MetaTrader. Okay, so keep that in mind. Tick charts cannot be used in Forex either, by the way, because there is no centralized exchange. So for Forex and CFDs, that's not an issue, but for futures, it would be definitely. I'm just looking at additional questions. I believe I have answered everything. So